La Conquistadora, this nation's oldest Madonna, arrived in Santa Fe in 1625, carried in the arms of Fray Alonso de Benavides from Mexico City. From that moment on, La Conquistadora has represented Santa Fe's Spanish faith and legacy. The honoring of La Conquistadora is central to the annual Fiesta de Santa Fe, our nation's oldest continuous community celebration. In 1973, to the shock of the community, La Conquistadora was stolen as a result of a teenage prank, but was quickly recovered. Donia Tules was an expert at the card game Monte. During the mid-1840s, she operated a gambling hall that catered to Americans and Mexicans traveling along the Santa Fe Trail, which ended at the Santa Fe Plaza. Born Maria Gertrudis Barcelo, she was purported to be the mistress of Governor Manuel Armijo, the last New Mexico governor under the rule of Mexico. As her business grew, she amassed a small fortune and became accepted into circles of high society. When she died in 1852, she was buried underneath the Basilica Cathedral of St. Francis of Assisi, along with the hierarchy of the Catholic clergy. During a time that few women had rights or visibility, the story of Donia Tules has caught the imagination of many, and she is one of the most written about women in New Mexico history. La Llorona, the Wailing Woman, is an important part of New Mexico's cultural folklore. The legend may have originated in 1520 with the Spanish conquest of Mexico. One story claims that La Llorona was also La Malinche, the Indian mistress of the conquistador Hernan Cortez. Through the betrayal to her native people, she was banished from society and was destined to an eternity to roam the riverbeds. She continues to do so in the streets of Santa Fe, northern New Mexico, and other parts of the Southwest in search of her lost children, which is metaphoric of her lost culture. Adelina Nina Otero Warren led New Mexico's suffrage movement, helping to pass Susan B. Anthony's 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote in 1920. She served in government and educational roles throughout her life. She was the author of Old Spain in Our Southwest, which provided a view of Hispanic culture as it adapted to life under an American government. The Nina Otero Community School in Santa Fe is named in her honor. La Sociedad Folclórica was founded by Clovis Jaramillo in 1935 to preserve Spanish language, culture, and customs. For more than 3/4 of a century, the organization has played an integral role in sponsoring the annual merienda or afternoon tea and a fashion show during the Fiesta de Santa Fe. Albina Lucero was Santa Fe's first female deputy sheriff. Her job was to guard female prisoners at the local jail and to supervise local dances and community events. Albina was also a partera, or midwife, and a curandera, a holistic healer. In the 1930s, Lucero received a certificate from the Department of Health for assisting in hundreds of women during childbirth. Amalia Sena Sanchez was born in 1893 and died in 2002. She lived through 3 centuries. Sanchez was crowned Santa Fe's first Fiesta Queen in 1927. Throughout her life, she was a volunteer with the New Mexico Museum, the Red Cross, and other civic organizations. During that time, she volunteered at St. Catherine's Indian School, where she befriended Sister Catherine Drexel. the founder of the Order of the Blessed Sacrament. The Sisters of Loretto came to Santa Fe in 1852 at the behest of Archbishop Lamy and founded an academy for girls the following year. For the next 115 years, Loretto Academy provided a quality education for thousands of young women in Santa Fe. In 1969, the school closed and became a part of St. Michael's High School. In 2002, the Sisters of Loretto celebrated their 200th anniversary in the United States. In addition to the Loretto Academy in Santa Fe, the sisters also had schools in Albuquerque, Denver, and El Paso. Sister Catherine Drexel was born in 1858 and died in 1955. She founded St. Catherine's Indian School in Santa Fe in 1894. Sister Catherine Drexel was canonized a Roman Catholic saint in 2000. March 3rd is her Catholic feast day. Fabiola Citabaca was a cultural preservationist and the author of We Fed Them Cactus, about rural New Mexico. Her cookbook, Historic Cookery, has become the quintessential New Mexico cookbook. A permanent exhibit of Fabiola is featured at the Farm and Ranch Museum in Las Cruces. She was a descendant of the Romero family who founded Las Vegas, New Mexico. Genoveva Chavez was known as the First Lady of the Santa Fe Fiesta for her annual musical performances at the community event. She began singing when she was 5 at weddings and other family celebrations. By the time she was a young woman, her career was in full bloom, and she performed with several mariachi groups and Mexican stars including Lucha Villa, Lola Beltran, Vicente Fernandez, and Jose Alfredo Jimenez. Santa Fe's largest sports complex is named in her honor. Maria Concepcion Ortizipino, who was known by all as Concha, was a champion of women's rights. Concha served under 5 U.S. presidential administrations. Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, and Carter all appointed her to national boards that fought for the handicapped, the humanities, and the arts. In the 1940s, she became the boss lady of her family's 100,000-acre Agua Verde ranch, which at the time was one of the biggest ranching enterprises in the state. Her descendants were part of New Mexico's founding families.